All right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. I am Riley with the T Storm Chasers, and we're going to take a look at your forecast. But before we do, here's a brief word from our sponsors at Cube Portable Storage.
What are you doing?
Decluttering?
Moving? Remodeling? In need of temporary storage, emergency cleanup, or just need to declutter? Cube Portable Storage has the perfect solution. Rent your Cube Portable Storage container today.
And don't forget, they got roll-off dumpsters for the other stuff. Call Cube Storage for all your moving needs.
Alright, good evening everyone. We are back here for another video. Let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Firstly, take a look at your radar picture. And nationally speaking, we do not have anything. I mean, we are very calm out there. We have a whole lot of nothing out there. Our region is completely dry. We don't have anything going on. We are clear as day. I didn't even see a cloud in the sky today. We do have some rain showers down in, New Mexico and southeastern part of the United States, but that's about it. Most of the country, with the exception of a couple of those states, is dry. So we are not looking at a whole lot of nothing. All right, so now let's take a look at your current temperatures. And at the 8 o'clock hour, we are a little chilly. Honestly, 65 in Sioux Falls, that's a little bit below average for this time of the year. 66 in Aberdeen, 62 in Watertown, so mainly in the 60s across our region. 68 in Pierre, 67 in Rapid City, 70 in Sturgis, that's the warmest spot in South Dakota, looks like. And then down into Nebraska, 61 in Valentine, 65 in Alliance, 59 in North Platte, 62 in Kearney, and 62 in Omaha. And then into Iowa, 64 in Des Moines, 58 in Mason City, 60 in Spencer, and 59 in Cedar Rapids. And then up into Minnesota, 58 in the cities, 59 in Mankato, 55 in Marshall, 59 in Fairmont, and then 57 in St. Cloud. So it is a little chilly out there. Alright, so we're going to jump into our model runs here in just a second, but first let's hear a brief word from our sponsors at CE Construction.
From roofing to siding, CE Construction is setting the standard across North and South Dakota. Our expert team delivers quality, durability, and trust on every project. CE Construction, Dakotans helping Dakotans with their roofing and siding needs. Call or visit us online.
Okay, so as we jump into our latest HRRR here, playing us out tonight, we do not see anything. It's going to be a chilly night out there, overnight lows in the 40s, and then tomorrow we're looking at another day of clear skies out there and dry conditions, not seeing anything. Now, there could be a few isolated rain showers in eastern Minnesota there, maybe the cities up towards Duluth. Certainly possible there, but that is the only spot that we see any kind of rain chance, and that will quickly fade overnight, and then high pressure builds in again for your day on Friday. Friday, there could be an isolated shower here and there in Wyoming and Montana, but as we switch over to the European model, take a look at the latest here. Friday. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot here. Now, Friday night, there could be some rain showers in the panhandle of Nebraska. Certainly, some we'll keep an eye on. Maybe even southwestern corner of South Dakota there. So, some we'll keep an eye on closely, and then maybe some isolated thunder showers overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. Southern South Dakota into Nebraska. And then Saturday afternoon, looking at some rain showers in eastern South Dakota, south central South Dakota, and there you go, more widespread rain showers there on Saturday. Certainly possible. central and eastern portions of South Dakota into Minnesota and North Dakota. Certainly a possibility there, as we have as you can see, there's the main system actually up farther to the north and west up into Montana, Canada. That is your main system, and look at that. Maybe even some snow and freezing rain potential up there in that neck of the woods up in Montana and Canada, maybe even North Dakota. But that won't affect our region. We don't have to worry about that. We'll get the southern part of this system, which again could introduce some rain and thunder shower activity. But again, not expected to be anything strong, not expected any severe weather out of any of that activity. And then early next week, we'll see what happens. Monday looks dry. Tuesday, maybe some rain showers around. Some we'll keep a close eye on. Now, if we look at temperatures, taking a look at the European model here, latest. And again, overnight lows in the 40s and 50s, and then for your day tomorrow, we're looking at a very pleasant day for October standards. 70s mainly in our forecast, mid-70s for Sioux Falls. It's going to feel pretty nice out there. Hopefully you guys can get out and enjoy that. And then on Friday, 60s and 70s once again in the forecast. Near 70 in Sioux Falls there. And it's going to feel pretty nice out there. And then on Saturday, 70s out west, 60s in the east. Looking like a really nice day once again on Saturday. So we are kind of in a fall pattern, early fall pattern, where we're still going to see some warmer temps. Temperatures reaching the 70s, maybe even a few 80s here and there. But overall, just a really pleasant forecast. And then on Sunday, 70s to near 80 in Sioux Falls there, as you can see. It's going to be kind of a mixed bag on Sunday. It just depends on where you are. 80 possibly in Aberdeen, and then you got 60s over in Minnesota, Minneapolis area, and then you got 60s out near Pierre, and then you got 50s out near Rapid City, western South Dakota, and then maybe even some 30s out in the Black Hills on Sunday. So that'd be quite the contrast in temps if that plays out. And then Monday, we'll see what happens next week. Well, looking like possibly a dip in temperatures, maybe back into the 50s perhaps on Monday, taking us out to the 13th. And then on Tuesday, we'll see what happens, maybe some more 50-degree weather. Next week, already looking a little bit cooler than this week. But this week's still pretty nice, I would say. 60s and 70s in the forecast this week. Maybe, again, a few low 80s here and there, depending on where you are, depending on what day, later in the week. All right, so we are going to wrap things up here with your 10-day forecast for the Sioux Falls area. Firstly here, 70s for the rest of your work week here. Low to mid-70s, overnight lows in the 40s and low 50s. Mix of clouds and sun, and then for your weekend, warming up a little bit there, 80 degrees by Sunday with a slight chance of rain showers, and then we'll dip in temps next week into the 60s and a mix of clouds and sun there. And then for the Aberdeen area, not seeing a whole lot of rain in this forecast. Low to mid-70s next couple days, and then we'll dip in temperatures Friday and Saturday into the 60s, overnight lows in the 40s and 50s. And then for your weekend, warming up a little bit by Sunday there, 76, and then dipping back again in temperatures into the 50s and 60s next week, overnight lows in the 30s and 40s. For the Pierre area, we're looking at 70s the rest of this week, and then mix of clouds and sun, and overnight lows in the 40s and 50s, and then next week, 50s and 60s for a high there. And overnight lows in the 40s. And again, not a whole lot of rain and moisture in this forecast at all. And then finally for the Rapid City area, warm the rest of this week, 70s to low 80s, and overnight lows in the 50s. And then we'll dip back in temps starting on Sunday. And then 60s next week, and overnight lows in the 40s. And not a lot of rain in this forecast. Again, it's kind of the theme of this. And that's the trend. So, we'll see what happens as we get later into October. Also, I do want to mention behind the scenes, I was looking at something and suggesting that later in October, we could see above average temperatures continuing through the end of October. So I just wanted to mention that. So that's going to do it for tonight's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more content, leave a comment below, and we'll follow us on social media, of course. Facebook, X as our most active platforms, and then we got Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So if you enjoyed, we'll be back for another video as always in the coming days. We'll be back tomorrow for another video. So have a good night out there. Stay safe as always.